New season, and I have some important news. Firstly, I hear you. I will say it's Ceballos, not Ceballos. And secondly, we have young right backs. I'll show you the young right backs before we get up and running. Hello and welcome to Club 4, part 22. Blimey, we need to move clubs. Of Non-League to Legend, I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games of the new Premier League season, away against Brentford and at home against Liverpool. If you missed our transfer special that came out on Saturday, there's your quick summary of the transfers. But there was a transfer special. You can find out all about all of them on there. The key things that came out of it is I don't know who Danny Ceballos is. Ceballos. I don't know how to say his name. I do now. And everyone thinks I'm an idiot because I didn't sign any right backs. Allow me to show you what we have down in our under-23s. I thought I'd included this in the video, but I'm watching it back. I hadn't. The reason I started the transfer window saying I really need right backs and then didn't actually sign any right backs is because, similar to how we've got Paul Bell over on the left-hand side as our backup left back, on the right-hand side we've got Steve Unsworth, who's 21, came through our youth system, 2.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, should be a Premier League right back in his future, age 21, time to give him a try. Also, we've got Rodney Pearce as a right back. I think we've looked at Rodney Pearce before. He was part of the same youth team as Paul Bell, also 21 years old. 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, should also be a Premier League right back in his future, and he's never played. It's time to give him a try. So we're going with Sessegnon, but we do have two young right backs, similar to how we've got the young left back on the left-hand side. So that's why. That's why we didn't sign any. I felt we didn't need any. If Sessegnon gets an injury, we've got the two youngsters who can come in, and we'll toss a coin to see which one we bring in at that point. So let's get into the first game of the new season. We are away against Brentford, and this is what our shiny new look team looks like. So we've got Lopez in goal, and back four of Wendell, Schuster, Duffy and Sessegnon, with two starters, our holding midfielder, Ceballos and Horta in front of him, with a front three of Mirabella, Mitrovic and Hall. If they each better their best ever season, that's like a 60-goal front three. They've never all done it at the same time, though. So let's see if this is the year where the three of them decide to be superheroes. We have got plenty of backup this year, remember. We've still got Lucas Moura. We've got Liam Thorne. So we've got options. We've got Ruiz as our new left-sided player as well. So we've got strong backups for each of our front three. Let's see how they start the season. Hopefully we get the best of Simon Hall again this season. That's the important thing. We want to win. We should be better than Brentford. What's this? Clashes, rivals, meh, whatever. Don't need your touchline nonsense. Let's just get into the game and hopefully start the new season off with a bang. There was also a little bit of concern after the transfer special that having lost Bakayoko he was our starting centre-back all season. He was our first choice. And it was really just a case of rotating Mawson and Duffy as his partner. Well, we weren't able to bring him back. We did try. We weren't able to bring him back. Schuster, although not yet at the level Bakayoko is a wonder kid, is probably already the best centre-back at the club. And as we've seen with Mirabella and Simon Hall previously, if you give a wonder kid the opportunity to be a regular... Oh, what a goal. There you go. That's what you spend £11 million on. Wendell with a beautiful free kick. Have we got a left-footed Larson from our first season at Fulham who just did this constantly? Just free kicks, beautiful delivery. Hopefully Wendell's going to do that from the opposite side with his other foot. That would be delightful. But yeah, as we showed with Mirabella and Hall previously, just decide that, you know what, I'm going to put my faith in these wonder kids. Let's see how well they can do. I'm kind of tempted to do that with Schuster this season. And if it doesn't work, Mawson and Duffy, I think, are probably good enough. We have got Carter Vickers knocking around as well. I'm not particularly confident about Carter Vickers. But we do have another of our own youngsters, David Rhodes, who's similar to Bell and the Unsworth and Pearce and all of the other youngsters that came through that same youth team altogether. We probably have a future Premier League quality back four that all came through the same golden generation of youth team. So David Rhodes is there to step into the team if need be as well. But we'll worry about that if Schuster's not any good, and I suspect he probably will be quite good. And I know some of you are particularly uncomfortable about me putting so much focus on loan players, but you know what? It's the only way. We couldn't have signed Ceballos on permanently. We couldn't have signed Bakayoko last year permanently. We wouldn't have got Mirabella permanently without having him here on loan for 2 years first. We wouldn't have got Horta permanently without having him on loan here first. So we've done very well with the loan market, and we will continue to use it until we're rich enough to not need to, which I suspect isn't a situation we're ever likely to be in with Fulham, even if we do manage to drag this team kicking and screaming into the Champions League at some point. I suspect it will still be with loan players in the team because we've got a 25,000 capacity stadium. We've not got the money to go and throw loads of money around. So we need to use loans, and we're doing it really well. Right, let's assertively avoid complacency in the second half. We can end it. We can end the match top of the league because this is the Friday night season kickoff. Imagine being whoever decides. I mean, is it Sky who get the Friday night games or BT or whoever else it might be? Imagine being in charge of the TV companies. Right, what Premier League game do we want for the first match of the season? What do we want to do to get people excited about the new season? I know, Brentford against Fulham. Let's go with that one. I don't understand, but we'll take the TV money. Or do we get any with it being a Brentford home game? Does the away team get TV money? I don't know how it works. Right, Hall, with the chance to break away. I want to see the Hall from the year ago, not last season's Hall. Mirabella. And Mirabella scores. I want last season's Mirabella and Mitrovic with the Hall from the season before, and then we don't need any of these backup players. Although what I'd really want is by sort of Christmas time, Liam Thorne's established himself as our starting striker, and we have that youngster superstar going to be here for the next 8 years, front three of Mirabella, Thorne and Hall, tearing up the Premier League. And then you can all stop picking on me for signing old men. Yes, I signed plenty of old men, but I will have also built a front three with an average age of, 21? And that would be quite satisfying as well. Right, we're 2-0 up on 60. Wendell's at it again from the other side now. Oh my word. We've got ourselves a free kick specialist, boys and girls. Wendell, on debut. I know £11 million is a lot to spend on a 31-year-old left-back, but he's much better than any of our other defenders. He is our star defender. He's one of the best players at the club, star rating-wise. And if he does that on a regular basis, he's worth every penny. I don't care how old he is. Larson single-handedly got us promoted from the Championship, age 34. Right, we're going to bring Pineda on for Ceballos, and we're going to bring Liam Thorne on up front for Mitrovic to get him out there and hopefully grab a first goal of the season for Liam Thorne, because I want this to be his year. This is the year that he establishes himself as a Premier League player. Horta with the corner. Remember, Thorne is 6'5", I think, so he's going to be a threat from these set pieces as well. Perhaps we should get Wendell delivering corners. Is he as good at corners as he is at free kicks? I might have to investigate this after the game. I don't think I've set up set piece takers yet, so I might go and have a look at that. Wendell seems to have shoehorned his way in anyway, but imagine if he's not the best free kick taker at the club. Horta now can't quite get the ball across. Hall picks it up, but it keeps it in play, but doesn't really do very much with it, and it's with Toussaint. And Hall chases after it again and plays it across back to Toussaint again. It was the most elaborate 1-2 in history. Wendell picks it up on the left-hand side, and the highlight just peters away. And we're going to make our final substitution. We're going to take off Horta, bring on Calderon, and do we swap those two over? We do swap those two over. Get Pineda involved a little bit further forward, and Calderon, the more defensive-minded of the two. And that's been a pretty comfortable first day of the season. It's got to be said. We've played very well there. I don't know how good Brentford are. I think they're newly promoted this season. I don't remember playing Brentford last year, but we've looked a very good side there today. And ignoring that last-minute chance, because a better team would have scored, but we were still 3-0 up anyway. Schuster now plays it forward to Calderon. Pineda out to Wendell. Can he grab an assist as well? It's Hall, and Hall has got into some good positions today, but not managed to finish anything off. Hall is now running at the Brentford defence again, and I think we've got a minute left on the clock. We've got time for number 4. Number 4 would be a delight. Lopez plays it forward to Schuster. It was a bit weak. It didn't make it all the way to Schuster, but we kind of got away with it a little bit. I don't know what's happening here. We're knocking the ball around at the back, trying to play our nice possession football, and being we look a little bit flustered. But I don't really know why. We're 3-0 up with 30 seconds left. Even if we do mess up here, we're not gonna lose the game. I guess there's a lot of defensive players there worried about losing their clean sheet bonuses. And it looks like they might do, and that's a deflection that's gone flying over and wide, and hopefully that should be the end of the threat. Brentford have got a corner, but it should be the last kick of the game, and we still can't get it clear. Mirabella lumps it up the pitch, and we do secure the 3-0 win on the first day of the new season. Let's passionately give them all a pat on the head. Well done, gentlemen. Because this is our first year in Europe, we do need, because I know Wolves exist now, by the way. Because this is our first year in Europe, the plan is get as many points on the board as we can early on, because once we get started with European games, I am still aware that we have a relatively small squad, and we might start to struggle for points at that point. So it's good to get goals on the board, points, table, wins. Let's go and play another match. Here's a mad thing. Before that game, Wendell had only scored 8 goals in his entire career. He hadn't scored for 3 years. 1 goal in the last 5 years. Perhaps he's not the free kick expert that he looked like there. He's only got 10 for free kick taking, wherever that is on there. I don't know. And he's 32 now as well. He was 31 when we signed him. But still good value if he does that regularly. No change for the Liverpool game then, and the Liverpool game is going to be a big test, a benchmark to see how good we're going to be this season. Liverpool, defending Premier League champions. We talked last year about how, although we finished 6th place in the league, there was very much a breakaway top 4, then Arsenal, then the group that we were in. And we want to see if we're going to be good enough to break into that top 4, top 5 this year. So we do owe Liverpool. Let's go out there and get revenge on Liverpool for whatever happened last time. Presumably, as their Premier League champions, I imagine they beat us last time they played us. But let's go and get some revenge for that. Liverpool had a weak start to the season. They lost their first game, I think, wherever they are in the league. I can't even find them. Simon Hall is injured 9 minutes in. That's not what we want. At least we have Lucas Moura to come on. This is where we talked about strength in depth. There's a perfect example of it. He is not a bad player to be able to bring on in those circumstances. I know he's getting on a bit, but he's still got plenty to offer on that right-hand side at his age. And I hope Hall's not too badly injured. Simon Hall made his England debut in the summer as well. I don't know if I mentioned that on the transfer special. It was pretty cold, and I was rushing towards the end because I wanted to get back in the house. But Simon Hall did make his England debut. I just hope that groin injury isn't one that's going to keep him out for ages, because the last thing we need on a first season in Europe is to start getting injuries to key players. Toussaint, big ball forward, doesn't get anywhere near anybody, and it's with Liverpool again. And Duffy didn't really head clear, and the ball is it's bouncing around in that penalty area. Lopez makes a good save. We had a lot of this at the end of the Brentford game, where you can tell it's a new combination of players as our back four, because they're defending a little desperately at the moment. It's not they don't look comfortable playing together just yet. Hopefully that will come with time, and maybe not too much time, because we can't have desperate scrambling around at the back constantly. It makes me sad. I recognise a lot of these the Liverpool back four and goalkeeper are all current Liverpool players. We're in 2025. They've obviously built a defence that's going to last forever. That's ridiculous. How old must Virgil van Dijk be now as well in 2025? He strikes me as a player who's nearly 30 in real life. Someone's going to tell me he's only 23. He just seems like I'm going to click on him. Do we click on him now? How old are you, Virgil? 34. I suspected he was an old man. Right, that makes me want to get Liam Thorne on to run at him. Because Mitrovic, although top scorer in the Premier League last year, isn't quite as physical as Liam Thorne is as a player. Let's assertively continue to owe Liverpool. I am very much thinking Thorne on with 25 minutes to go, and just try and run at the old man. Although the old man's the best player on the pitch at the moment, so maybe it won't be that effective. Maybe he's just going to be fit forever. Horta with the corner, and it sort of knocks around a little bit in Liverpool's penalty area this time, but they've got the chance to break away here, and our defence is going to be all over the place, but we do get the tackle in, and it's with Moura, and now we've got the chance to break. Moura plays it into Mitrovic from miles out. What a goal for Mitrovic! That is absurd. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. Let's look at it from the other angle. It was so far out. He had no right to hit it from where he's hit it, and he placed it perfectly. What a ridiculous goal. Liam Thorne can put his trousers back on. That was absolutely insane. Horta's picked up an injury, and I'm inclined to take him off sooner rather than later because he is such a key player for us. But Lucas Moura's in here, and Lucas Moura forces a save out the Liverpool keeper. We're going to get Horta off now, unless it's a thigh injury. Right, Joe Williams can come on, swap those two over, get Williams into that midfield, and we could have lost 2 key players to injury here. We need to be keeping an eye on fitness levels of everybody else. I'm still tempted to take Mitrovic off, despite his absolutely stunning goal, just because I still think the theory of getting Liam Thorne running against Virgil van Dijk is a good theory. So maybe we'll give him the last 15 minutes, get Mitrovic a standing ovation, because it was, what a goal. But now let's see if Liam Thorne can be a bit physical and offer something a little bit different to what Mitrovic was able to offer. And almost immediately, Liverpool grab an equaliser. I can't really complain. It's been a very evenly matched game, and I don't think we can blame my substitution on that happening. I know there's going to be people saying, Kev, Mitrovic was your best player. Why did you take him off? Then you immediately conceded a goal. Well, he was our lone striker. Taking him off didn't cause us to concede there. And if Thorne scores here, which he didn't, but now Firmino running on the break again for Liverpool, and it's Salah. They have got a team of very old men who have still got it, it seems, and Salah now makes it 2-1. And I guess this is why Liverpool won the Premier League last year, because they're quite good, aren't they? Oh dear. Well, I feel a little bit... Lopez should have done better. I do feel a little bit hard done by to be behind. Like I said, when they equalised, it's been a fairly even game. Let's show some passion. Maybe we should have kept Mitrovic on. No! Thorne... I still think the theory was good. Get Liam Thorne up against old men at the back. Moura now. Thorne is getting in the mix of things there, but probably getting him in an aerial battle isn't what we need. We needed to get him to use his strength and his pace. Even though he is 6'5", so an aerial bat was always going to be good as well. But I am aware Van Dijk's probably quite good in the air, isn't he? And I think we've lost this one. We didn't look a million miles away from Liverpool, quality-wise, but they still had their world-class players to just kill us off, even when it looked like we might edge the game. Let's calmly say we were the underdogs, you gave it your best, because I think that is true. We gave them a run for their money. They were just a better team. They've just won the Premier League. There's no shame in that defeat. I just don't understand how they've got so many old men knocking around. Salah, 33. Firmino, 33. These got to be the last days of Liverpool, surely. They need a massive clear out. That might be a job for Kev. Keep an eye on that one, boys and girls. But we will end things there, and I think we're going to be back tomorrow with our first game in Europe. We don't know who we're going to be playing yet, but first game in Europe is a momentous occasion in any non-league to legend. So we'll do first game in Europe and probably Man United. Do a double defeat, double header. That'll be fun. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. I almost told you to subscribe for vlogs. Running 2 channels breaks my mind. Thank you very much for watching.